Hello and welcome to Martin Maths. This week we're going to look at some football to help us explain some maths concepts, and of particular interest was a game that involved some African players, in fact 2 Zambian players, and who was the game between?
Leicester and Brighton.
So it was Leicester against Brighton, and what was the score?
2-2.
And of particular interest, one of the Zambian players scored a goal. What was his name?
Mwepu.
Okay, and there we go. Mwepu scored a goal for Brighton. So if we look at these goals, if I use those 2 for Leicester's goals and those 2 for Brighton goals, how many of those 4 goals did Leicester score?
He scored.
Leicester scored 2. So 2 out of the 4 is the same as 1 out of?
1 out of.
So 2 over 4 is the same as 1 out of?
2.
1 out of 2. So we've got some equivalent fractions there. So with those 4 goals, you can see some equivalent fractions. If we then move to the penalties, because after a game that ends in a draw, they have to go to extra time and then penalties. The score there, unfortunately, Leicester won. What was the score?
It was 4-2.
So Leicester got 4 goals, if we use the yellow there to show a goal, and unfortunately Brighton only scored 2 out of their 4. So we can look at ratio here. So Leicester scored 4 goals to 2. We can simplify that. For every 2 goals that Leicester scored, how many did Brighton score?
1.
So 4 to 2 can simplify to 2 to 1. So we're simplifying some ratios there. If we look at the penalties in total, sadly, Mwepu missed a penalty, but Daka, he scored his penalty. Well done. Okay, so Daka was one of the Leicester players who scored. Mwepu sadly missed his goal. How many of the penalties taken were scored? If we use the yellow, how many were scored? How many of those?
6.
6. Out of how many in total?
Out of 8.
8. So we can again simplify that using equivalent fractions. That 6 out of 8 is the same as how many?
3 out of 1.
3 out of?
1.
Well,
Oh,
3 to
3
1.
out of 4.
3 out of 4. Because yes, I'm back to fractions now. So here, the ratio of the goals was 4 to 2. But I'm talking now about the goals scored to the goals missed. So yes, there was a ratio there of 3 to 1 scored versus missed. Okay, so there we go. That's some fractions and ratio using football and African players and Zambian players playing in England. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share.